Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Blue Blanc Rouge. It's the Wednesday night show where we do nothing. Anyways, we're here to talk hockey, whatever you guys want to talk about. I got a couple of small items of news today. That's really it. And we can talk about anything that's been going on lately. Refs again, if you want to talk about that, and just stuff like that. So if you're here and it shows I'm talking to myself, talk to me in the chat whenever somebody shows up. Um, yeah, I mean that happens sometimes on Wednesday shows. So hopefully people remembered that I'm out there and that the show is public. I could go and check that, but I don't know. I don't want to give out my stuff yet, so I'll just think of what to say. Let's see what to say. The refs again are kind of in the news how bad they are, and it's not just here with the Habs. It's definitely in other arenas. I was looking just in the last hour on Twitter and saw some comments about how bad the refing is. Without a doubt, at the end of the game, the play with Josh Anderson where Sergachev took him down, if that's not holding, I don't know what it is. And if you really watch it in slow motion, you could make a case for that being a slew foot. But it's definitely holding, and how that's not a penalty, and how two refs can look at that and then confer about it and then still not call a penalty. I don't know. It just shows the state of the refereeing in the game. I know that from Twitter, reading, there's a lot of people that are starting to kind of turn off of the game because of the poor refereeing. It's totally affecting the quality of the games and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's something we can talk about. There's some people here now. There's 4 comments, but it only shows one person here. That's weird. Let's go see who's here. Oh, that's why it's all Phil. Guru, welcome in. Hey, how's it going? And Filibuster, how's it going, man? Hey, listen, I'm writing a new poem right now. I'm in the process of it. I might preview a little bit of it here tonight. It is about how I fell in love with hockey when I was young, and I'm enjoying. It's actually pretty good, and I'm gonna maybe preview here a little bit. Phil says he predicts a good time will be had by all, and he'll score first. Actually, Guru scored first, if you look at it that way, right? It's okay. Nothing wrong with being second. You just don't win the contest. That's the problem, right? All right. I see there's a few people here. So this is a night of basically you guys talking to me. I've got, like I said, a couple of things, but it doesn't add up to much. And we'll go from there. It's weird to hear, like you've said it many times now, but it's weird to hear someone coming to my channel as a patron of the arts. But I appreciate that, and I'm starting to embrace more of myself as a poet, and definitely not strictly a hockey guy, right? So, yeah, I'm embracing the poet inside me, and hopefully you like what I've got written here. When it'll come out, I don't know because I'm not finished. When this will stay lit, I don't know because it's not finished. So whatever you guys want to talk about, there's 4 people here. Please say hi. And while you guys do that, I'll tell you what I got here. So some more bad news on Caden Gooley. I mean, this season doesn't matter, and it's almost over. But Caden Gooley is done for the rest of this season with a high ankle sprain. So apparently, what was I reading? He had... was it the knees? Yeah, he had trouble with both knees this year. Now he's got a high ankle sprain. He's only got one joint on the lower body that's okay. Anyways, he's done for the season. It's not a big deal totally, because obviously we're not in a playoff race or anything. It's sad to see how many injuries. I mean, the injuries are just crazy. I guess this is from when he went into the boards. I know he played the rest of the game, but I don't think he's been back since, and I guess that's what happened. High ankle sprain can take a long time to heal and very painful. And apparently, what the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, Mahomes, didn't he win the Super Bowl and he had a high ankle sprain? Don't know how he did that. There's no word on Andy, speaking of, yet. And I ask, how was that not a penalty? That was definitely a holding penalty. I don't know how anybody can look at that and say that's not a holding penalty. And if you're, like I said, I watched it many times today in slow motion. And to me, I'm not sure if it affected the push, but obviously he pulled him back, and one of his skates touches Andy's left foot, and I don't know if it was enough to help push him over, but I don't know. That looks like it could have been a slew foot too. Anyways, the state of the refs are just it's I don't even know a word. I don't think there's a word that in the English language that can properly describe how bad the refs are. Here is the last piece I have, and it's actually I think if you're a person who wants Pierre-Luc Dubois for the Montreal Canadiens to trade for him, I don't know. I listen to what they say about Doc. And this is Coach Marty about Doc. It's short. It's just a quote, and I think it says a lot. So Marty St. Louis on Doc. He's a competitor. What I noticed from him is his compete level. It starts in practice. He wants to own every puck in every practice. Our plan is for sure to have him be a center. So if Kirby Dach is going to be a center, and Nick Suzuki is going to be a center, where are you going to put Pierre-Luc Dubois? Because I don't see Kirby Dach as a second line center. So I don't see a fit there. Let me know what you guys think on that. Saka, I checked that song, Richie. I haven't been called Richie since I was a kid. My aunt and my grandmother, my bubby used to call me Richie. But since it is copyrighted, there is no audio on that part. Oh, I forgot. I took that one out. Just check in the, you know what? Look for the Life After Habs. I played it in there. I did not. Okay, here's what happened. They sent me a copyright claim, and I kind of got, it's not a strike, so it's not a bad thing. I didn't read it properly, and I did their suggestion of muting it only in the pregame show. And then I realized, why am I doing that? We're sharing revenue. So what? How much is it going to make anyway? So yeah, in the live hangout and in the Life After Habs, the post-game shows there. I apologize, Safka. I forgot about that. But it is there. I promise. I did not mute it in the other ones. It's playable, and you can hear it in there. I don't remember in the Life After Habs. It's in the first half of that show that I played it. And once again, I apologize. Wait a second. What's that? Phil, what? Cromulent? They are perfectly cromulent. Give me an explanation. Like, give me a what's the word I'm looking for? Not an explanation. The meaning. Give me the meaning of that. Never heard that word. Can't have enough centers also ever hear of injuries. We are leaders in the field. It's not about that, though. The thing is, you could say you can't have enough centers. I 100% agree. But how many elite or that kind of level centers can you have and can you afford to have? That's what I'm saying. I do believe that we're going to have Beck. We're going to have other guys coming up that they're going to develop. And maybe they sign somebody, but not Dubois. I don't see them having that level. You can't have 1, 2, 3 that are elite. It doesn't work. You're going to end up being the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's what I'm saying. Cromulent. Wait a second. It's an adjective. Humorous. Acceptable or adequate. The continual breakfast was perfectly cromulent. The continental breakfast was perfectly cromulent. I've never heard that word before. Now, the other question is, why did you bring that up? I don't get it. What's acceptable? Let's go back over and see if I can figure this out. I don't get what's cromulent. What did I say that was cromulent? The 1996 episode of the animated sitcom The Simpsons. Oh, wait, I didn't read the previous one. A humorous, intentionally morphologically opaque neologism and nonce were coined by American television writer David X. Cohn for Lisa the Iconoclast. Really? So it's from The Simpsons. Is it a real word, though? He coined it. Does it make it a real word? I've heard saying that if somebody said it, it's a word. Even if it doesn't make sense, it's still a word. Can't spend all your money on one position, exactly like you said. Just look at the Leafs. Yeah, I mean, I think if their plan for Doc is center, I think he's saying that we're not going after Dubois. Are you saying it so like I can make up my own words? Embiggen yourself. I think I do that sometimes, though. Don't you think? When I'm writing a poem, I don't know if I've made up the word, if I've heard it before, but I use words like I have a good memory, I guess, and I read. I mean, I'm a reader. I've been reading since I'm pretty young. And I just rely on the brain. It comes up with, yeah, I think I've made up words before, kind of. Anyway, I get what you're saying. It's coming as I'm growing as a poet. All right. So nobody told me anything about how they feel about that penalty or the should have been penalty against Anderson. Yeah, whatever you guys want to talk about. Embiggen, third person present, embiggens, past tense, embiggened, past participle, embiggened. That's the same word. Gerund or present participle, embiggened enlarge, embiggening large. What? Embiggening enlarge. You need to embiggen your vocabulary. Yes. Yeah, listen, I didn't go far in school as far as, past high school. So I probably, and I was good in English and I was a good reader and all that kind of stuff. And I've thought about possibly taking a course in something like to help me write, but I don't know. We'll see down the road. What I do though is when I want to rhyme a word and I can't think of anything, I go and just type in rhymes with whatever, and you get all the list. And then if I don't know the word, I'll look it up and I learn new things like that. But sometimes I can't think of a rhyme, and that's how I have to find the rhyme. I'm pretty sure I've seen the episode already. Because in, that era of The Simpsons, I've seen pretty much every episode. And maybe one day I'll go check it out. I will try to remember that. Which one is Lisa the Iconoclast? Pretty sure I've seen it, but I mean, I wouldn't have seen it thinking of this and, with that thought in mind. All right, so there's 10 people here. If you are here, please say hi and ask any questions you might want to ask. I got nothing else. I mean, it's just the Wednesday night show. Tomorrow, by the way, is Bruins. Montreal's in Boston to get their asses kicked by the Bruins. Now, I say that, and then you would have thought maybe to get their asses kicked last night, and they didn't. I don't think it's going to be the same outcome against the Bruins, but, you never know. The 16th episode of the 7th season. So definitely I've seen it. I just, like I said, not in that context, right? I've probably seen it more than once. That's what we used to tape the Simpsons and then play the tapes for the kids over and over and over and over. Guryanov is a sniper. By the way, hey, Gadon. They're few. Wait, is a sniper? They're few and far to come by in between. Opposite side of Caulfield on the power play next year. Could be. I mean, it definitely could be. Definitely could be. I like what I'm seeing from Guryanov. What I heard Hughes talk about is that Guryanov has some improvement. There's parts of his game that need to improve, and they're working with him on that. And you're seeing some of it where he's making some nice passes and he's starting to do stuff like that. I think they're trying to round him out into a more complete player, obviously. And I think they re-sign him. He's an RFA. They're going to re-sign him. It's whether they qualify him, which is a higher number than I think if they would re-sign him to, like a 2-3 year contract, maybe longer. I don't know how they feel about him exactly, that you can get the money down a little bit. Anyway, I think they re-sign him. I like what I've seen about with Guryanov. He started off really nice that first game, kind of slowed it down, and now he's finding his stride here. And he's got 5 goals and 1 assist in 11 games. He only had 9 points in 30-odd games with Dallas. So he definitely likes it here. I think he likes the way the coaching staff is coaching. And I like Guryanov. It was a really good pickup, I think, for Dadonov when you consider what Dadonov was delivering here. But I mean, Guryanov, you're right. At 2.9 million, I think it's a big, it's a big qualifying offer they got to give. That's why I think they sign him. I think Guryanov probably, somewhere around 2 million, a little under, maybe slightly over, but somewhere there, $1.5 million to 2 million, for 2 years, a prove me contract, maybe 3 years, and maybe some bonuses in there. And I think that's a good deal for him, and I like the move. But I definitely think they're going to sign him. I think with the performance so far, I think they're going to sign him. Even at 3 million, you'd qualify him. Listen, if it comes to that, sure, I think I would probably too. I think it's a little high, but if you're qualifying him for 1 season, it's a prove me season again. And if he does prove it, then it would be worth it. And you go from there. Yeah, Phil, I personally don't agree with you on the Drouin side, but if you're looking, I get a lot of my source for a lot of my information is on Twitter. The talk is there now again. Resign Drouin. You know what? It's like saying this. You stick your finger in a socket, you get why did that happen? Let's try it again. And that's what it is. You're just going to go back, stick your finger into the socket. You think he's going to deliver something different? He's desperate now. They kicked him in the ass. But what, you got to kick him in the ass every week? I'd learn my lesson and cut my losses, and it'd be bye-bye. I'm sorry. That's how I feel about it. Lucas, I don't think, though, the salaries of the guys coming up and everything is a problem yet. And I don't think Guryanov is going to command that much. And I think he's going to deliver. So, I mean, if this guy can score 25 goals, and I think it's possible he scored 20 before, it'll be worth it. So, hey, Mike, how you doing? We need a bunch of good UFAs to trade at 50% at the deadline. You're talking about next season? So they can do that. There's other ways to do that. They're even saying if they thought they were going to lowball him now, they're not going to be able to get him at a lowball number. I don't know, man. Great that he responded and all that, but we've had 4 or 5 years of this, and we know how it works. He responds, and then he stops. And then you don't know when he's going to respond again. So I don't. It's frustrating. He's not misunderstood to me. He's not. I think the guy's a great guy. Personally, I think he's a great guy. Off the ice, you don't hear a bad word about Drouin. On the ice, there's something missing. I need to clean my glasses. That's my personal opinion, you know? I'm allowed to have my opinion. Got some grease on there or something. I couldn't see. You guys, the screen was all blurry. Somehow I went that long like that. Much better. All right. Hey, Ronald, how you doing, man? I am doing okay today. So we're getting more people in the chat. Say hi, ask a question, really anything you want to know. And, I'll try to answer you if I know what I'm talking about. And if not, I will tell you that I don't. Phil, it's not that you're totally wrong, by the way. He said Drouin is misunderstood at 5.5. We hate him, but at $2 million on the third line, center left wing, he's a steal. But the thing is, the baggage that he's had for the last 5 years won't go away at this point by giving him $2 million. So it won't matter that he's only making $2 million. If he screws up or he's not there or he's a floater, he's going to get it like if he was making 5.5. The baggage is there. I don't think that baggage is ever going to go away. He needs to go somewhere else. We could argue it. That's what I think. Where do I see Montreal next year? In Quebec, near the river, and the mountain. I don't think it changes. I mean, it would be really weird if Montreal moved. I don't see much difference for Montreal. Maybe a little better than this year. I don't think there's going to be that much change. Not next year. Be new faces and some more rookies and that, but I don't think much change as far as standings wise or even compete's still going to be hard and everything. They're still going to lose. Andre, how's it going, man? David, have the Leafs only won 5 out of 10 in the past 10 against Montreal? You're talking about? I think so. Montreal's had their number. As much as you think that they should walk all over us, I don't think they have. I think we're even with them. Phil, I think the best thing they can do for him is let him go to another team that there's less pressure and he'll do better. It's not a guy that handles pressure well, except in short spurts like he's doing right now. I mean, listen, it's only my opinion. As always, I could be wrong, but this is from the 4 or 5 years that he's been here. That's what I see. And like I said, personally, on a personal note, I like as a person, I don't hate him. I don't hate him. Thoughts and opinions about Fanatics taking over the NHL uniforms starting in 24-25. Not, I'm not freaking out. They're going to make good quality uniforms. They're making them in the same from the same manufacturer. They just took over from Adidas. It's the same people making them. It's the same everything making them for the NHL. So the uniforms are going to be good. They won't fall apart. As far as the personal stuff, the public stuff, I got my first Fanatics. It's over there. The Caulfield jersey that I wear from Habs Guru this year. So I don't have a lot of experience. I don't know if it's going to fall apart or not. So, but I mean, the uniforms are going to be good. The NHL's not going to put up with that kind of shitty quality uniforms. Numbers are falling off because the guy got cross-checked. All of a sudden, the number falls off. I mean, that's not going to go over well, right? It'd be funny like it's in a movie, but it's definitely not going to go over well. Bob Cadden. Hey, Bob. How you doing, man? Remember Zach Cassian. Hey, welcome to Montreal. Oh, no, drug problem? Get that fixed. Need is fixed? Okay, you go to the prairies for peanuts. No, that's not exactly what happened, I don't think. My recollection is this, that he was out with, he made friends with Galchenyuk. They loved to party. They were out partying a lot. This is what I had heard. It's alleged because so I'm saying this now. It's alleged. This is what I heard. I don't know if it actually happened that way or not. It's what I heard. They were out partying with some young ladies, and I stress the word young. Apparently doing cocaine and drinking, and they had an accident. I don't know. I think Cassian or Galchenyuk was driving, and they switched, so one didn't get in trouble. Something like that. And I think the Canadians still had high hopes for Galchenyuk, and so they had to get rid of Cassian that way too. He was a bad influence, and Montreal's a bad city for a guy that has that problem. I think that's what happened. That's what I had heard anyway. So, did he have a drug problem? Maybe. Did he have a drinking problem? Apparently. And did he have a partying problem? Apparently. And that's what happened, apparently. One day it'll come out. I guess one day when they're all retired and all that, it'll come out what happened exactly. You're welcome, Bob. Dixon, exactly right. Guy gets hit. Oh, all of a sudden, he's no longer the assistant. Cassian got his foot hurt while in the back seat. The driver was the lady. She was in talks. Something like that. And she might have been underage, to be honest with you. I heard different things. So you hear different things. I don't know exactly, but it was after that accident. It was not long after Cassian was gone. The Coca-Cola is correct. Again, I don't have proof of that, but that's what I heard. Yeah, listen. Yeah, but Cassian was new to the team. I mean, I guess was the whole thing. And we don't know what his reputation was. We don't know what he's really like. Maybe he's got a bad rep. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying what I heard. You can't pick and choose, but actually, yeah, you can. When you own a business, you can. Hey, Jethro, no worries, man. Where's my food, though? No? I'm going to eat after this. She was young. That's what I heard. Listen, again, I don't know for sure, but I mean, that's the story that was going around. Have a good one, Jethro. Hi, bye. Thanks for dropping in and listening. You remember reading the article live? No, I remember just like, geez, I was living in Lachine. I think it was before the fire when that happened. And yeah, I just remember hearing it on the radio. I used to listen to TSN 690 like all the time and stuff like that. So I definitely wasn't doing this then. Well, Phil, isn't that what the players whatever Carey went into the program? Isn't that what it's for, though? Exactly that kind of thing. Without the injuries, though, it's not. You're right. They should combine all that and what you're right. But the NHL should do that for like all the players. Dixon Galchenyuk was the dad part. His dad was a coach in Russia. Obviously, we knew that. But he would tell Alex like, "Nah, don't listen to your coach. Do it like this." And that apparently that was a problem. Is that from the actual Phil, the whatever, the story? Well, there you go. Reading directly from the story. So it wasn't even that we had to hear. I mean, this was what was reported. I didn't remember that was what was reported. Hey, BL. Brendan Gallagher was had a quote the other day. I had it in the pregame show yesterday, where yeah, it's kind of like it's a coincidence. It's not anything more than just bad luck. And he says that it looks bad. It's 2 years in a row, but it's nothing more than that. That's coming from Gallagher. So if you think Gallagher is the kind of guy that, lies or tells mistruths when interviewed, you might not think, but I don't think that way. I think Gallagher kind of an honest guy. And I think that's really what it is. What I say is if it happens next year, that coincidence kind of goes out the window, right? 2 seasons in a row could be a coincidence. 3, so we'll see what happens. But it's crazy. It just won't stop. But Phil, I think the controversy was he the driver or not? That's I think was the controversy, and who was driving, and how young were the girls? That I remember being controversy that people were talking about. Again, like I said, it's all alleged. I don't know the truth because I'm not an insider, but I only hear what was reported or people were talking about. Because I don't want to get sued over anything like this because I don't know. Harry Rice, how's it going, Harry? Phil, yeah, some of that got typoed, but I get your point. And yeah, I don't look at when Brendan Gallagher says that and go, he's full of shit. He's towing the company line. I kind of take him at his word, and I don't see why he would say something like that and not put it a different way if there was a problem. Mike, yeah, we were talking about that, about Drew. I agree with you, but that's my opinion. He was in the back seat. It was confirmed. But didn't he say he was driving? He was trying to say he was driving. Like something was covered up. And I think it was, I don't know what it was they were trying to cover up, but there was supposed to be something. Anyway, it's a while back. What year was that? 2015? I kind of agree with you, Harry. Kind of agree with you. It's okay, Phil. At least Phil's talking to me and giving me, not everybody else is. Gallagher will be part of the Habs or past playing career. I'm sure of it. Beyond, well, if not already. What's that? By Rana's? Well, if not already. I'm not sure what that you're saying there, but it depends, right? I don't think they can move that contract. And I getting to feel that he's not going to be able to play long enough for them to be able to move that contract. And he's probably going to end up the last 4 years like Carey Price, be on the LTIR, and then probably, stick with the Habs in some capacity and then maybe move his way up. Like, I don't know. But I don't see them being able to trade that deal. Hey, Stan the man. I'm on a keyboard, but I don't have to type. What about Byron? What about Byron? I don't get what you're saying. Gallagher and Byron will be part of the organization once they're both done playing. That's what Phil is saying. But I didn't say anything about Byron. Oh, that Birona was Byron. I get you. Okay, I get you. Goddamn, what do they call that? The spell checker or whatever. I hate mine on my phone. Phil, yeah, probably the last 4. Doesn't he have 5 years left? I can't see, honestly, unless something happens and he's able to withstand the beating again. Yeah, I don't see him being able to play past next season. How's he going to do that? I just don't see it. Good evening, Mr. Cannon. Oh, that's not for me. I'm not Mr. Cannon. That's true. You did miss the intro because Bob came in a while back. Unless you were here and you weren't talking, but I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I know his sister too. I forget her name. I'm not saying that because I feel like the bar. What's his name? The bartender there, Mo. I don't want to feel like Mo. Is Mike Hunt there? Isn't he cousin with Mike Roch? Right? Mike Hunt and Mike Roch are cousins, from what I understand. We're getting off the subject of hockey, though. Oh, we're doing pretty good. Got another 25 minutes at least to go. Crotches for women, men have groins. Like was it Hasek? His groins. He pulled his groins. Seymour Butts is another one. Yeah. Groin injuries, do they announce them anymore? What is a groin injury, lower or upper? Because it's kind of right in the middle. They say like a middle body injury, right? What's the groin? I guess it's a lower. Stan, I was saying it. I think someone asked me about that last night. Yeah, I think Belzeal's a good guy to have around, but depending on what they do with the draft and in the offseason, really, they might bring in other guys that they think do a better job. I don't know. Belzeal's been playing really well, but I think so. I could see Belzeal being on the team. Fourth line guy next season for sure. He's kind of earning it. Bob, you got to say that with a lift. Biggeth Dicketh. Right? Wasn't that was history of the was it history of the world or Monty Python? Monty Python, right? Who didn't I say he has a sister? I didn't know her name. Phil, what's her name? You used to date her, didn't you? Or his biggest Dickus has a sister. What's her name? It is Life of Brian, yeah. Incontinentia buttocks. I remember that now. Good movie, Life of Brian. I kind of enjoy it more. Like I've seen it. When did I see it the last time? I think I watched it like 2 or 3 years ago. I think I enjoyed it more then than any other time I'd seen it. I love Monty Python. He has a wife, you know. What's the wife's name, Bob? Oh, the sister's the wife is okay. I get you. I want accurate information, guys. Show's getting out of hand now. Anybody got any hockey? Not like it's not an enticing name for a wife, eh? Incontinentia buttocks and her sister diarrhea. Phil, that's in the South, actually. You know, you go up, someone introduces themselves. Hi, whatever my name is. I'd like to introduce you to my wife and my sister. And there's only one woman standing next to him. I don't know why I thought of that. Leafs took a pounding last night. That's what she said. Yeah, look, I'm happy they lost. I'm hoping. I don't know the way the Lightning played last night. I'm wondering that if the Leafs can't really beat them, right? They probably can. Do I think the Southern U.S. people invented inbreeding? Not at all. Are you kidding me? No. It had to start in Europe, at least, and probably everywhere. You live in a small town somewhere. There's not a lot of people around. You'll be, you'll be after whatever girls are there, and they're probably your cousin, maybe your sister. I mean, isn't that what all the porn's about now, anyway? Not that I know about porn. Actually, the last movie I watched was the new one about Pornhub. It was very interesting. Had no sex in it. It was just about information. It was interesting. It is on Netflix. What's it called? Money Shot, the Pornhub story. And the reason I watched it mostly is because it's here in Montreal. Pornhub is run here out of Montreal. Pornhub, Brazzers, and then there's a guy across the street from me. He's on his car. He's got Brazzers, and I didn't know Brazzers was part of Pornhub. Now I know why. The guy probably works for them. So I figured I'd check out and see what it was about, and it was interesting actually. Bob, I think it's for all of us the same thing, right? And besides, anyways, if you believe in the Bible, we all started from Adam and Eve. Somebody was fucking somebody's sister. Somewhere down the line, right? Had to. Cousins and sisters had to. But they overlooked that, you know? Creative license on that one. Phil, you know, they say sex sells, man. Thou shalt not covet thy sister, but thy sister in law is different. Or thy stepsister, I bet. Thou shalt not covet thy sister, thy stepsister, no, is okay, and thy stepmother as well. Well, how did we start from Adam and Eve if there's people in the northeast, the west, and everywhere? How? There's a hole in the story somewhere. But I live my life by its ultimate authority over me. Yeah, okay. That's when my brain goes click off. Phil, isn't that how COVID happened in those caves? Read the book of Enoch. Is that in the Bible? If you say yes, then, well, you know, I mean, I read a lot of fiction. It's not a problem. but it's fiction. And listen, if I'm wrong when I die, God's supposed to be forgiving. He'll forgive me. Everything in the Bible, was written by somebody, and the stories were handed down for centuries, handed down orally. And you know what happens when, it gets changed along the way. Obviously, none of it's real. There's no God. You're allowed to believe in it. I don't. Is an ancient Hebrew apocalyptic religious text ascribed by tradition to the patriarch Enoch, who was the great grandfather of Noah. All right. What's the lesson that you learn in the book of Enoch? I've never read the Bible, I'll be very honest. I would say I got bored after I read the first paragraph. But other than that, I read a little bit of it. I didn't read much of it, though. So it's not for me. Religion has caused more evil in this world than anything else. And I'll stand by that. And what a difference. This is supposed to be hockey. Actually fits that I said evil because we do have Gary Bettman. All right. If you're loving this religious talk on hockey, please give a thumbs up. I appreciate that. Any other religious hockey questions anybody wants to ask? How come James Reimer was so upset about the LGBT stuff, but he's not upset that he has to play hockey on the most religious day of the week? Not all the time, but sometimes he doesn't complain. Right here. Phil, are you trying to convert me to being religious? Who is the God and Jesus of hockey? That's a good question. Who would be the God of hockey? I'd have to think about that. Bettman is the Pope. Bettman is the devil, Satan. If Habs end up with the 5th pick in the draft, do you think that that if they are available, would you pick Jaeger or Carlson? I think at 5th they're going to pick Benson or Will Smith. Will Smith, because there's a history too. Will Smith and Hughes. He knows him well. He's coached him. He knows him very well. I kind of think if they stay at 5th, that we're probably looking at Will Smith. David, I'm schizophrenic enough. I don't really need to. I'm not really going to read any of this stuff. Sorry, guys. Gretzky is not a hockey god. No, not for me. The god of hockey is the person who created it. Who did create hockey? Is there anybody I've never who was the real creator of hockey? I've never actually learned that, to be honest with you. Not at the top of my head. I may know it and I've forgotten. I guess so. Phil says the Jesus of hockey or the martyrs in general could be all the guys that died and have trophies named after them. That died like on the ice. There's a few of them. Standing man, no worries. Typos are what they are, right? Will Smith, I think, is going to be a good pick if we get him. I'm going to be happy with it. But just because we're in fifth right now, I think everybody's making a mistake, right? It's possible that they stay, like if the season finishes and they're fifth from the bottom, that they stay there for the lottery. But if teams behind them win the draft, we move back to. I don't know. Nobody's really referenced that point, right? The only way that they stay where they are is if teams below them win the two lotteries. Could you see the Canadians allowing their players to have their own unique goal songs? You mean like in the Bell Center when they score? It's not WrestleMania or anything. Come on, no, that's wrestling. No, no. I mean, they could. I don't know. This is my opinion. No. The native people of the Atlantic area, the Micmac, might be the oldest known hockey, more akin to shinny still. Well, I mean, I wouldn't expect it to have been exactly like it is today. I've actually heard that before, the Micmac. I was going to say native, but I think I have heard that it's Micmac, which is why natives are in my head. But I think so. I think that might be how it originated here. Phil, I know that I could Google it and find out. It's not going to do it here right now. Bandy, there you go. David's got it. That name I've heard. I think that is it. Bandy was the name, and that was the origination of hockey. It evolved into hockey. Your father's was it an eighth of eighth Micmac. I can't say it. It's possible, Lucas. It's all going to turn into it's. They're trying to attract the American viewer, and they're just doing. You don't have to do that as much here in Canada because we love hockey. In the States, they're trying to attract them with what they like. If I could change just one rule in the NHL, what would it be? I know you think you know the answer to that, but I don't know that I know the. I've thought about this before, and I've seen that question like on Twitter and stuff before. I don't know if you're saying just one rule. I don't know. Like off the top of my head here, I can't think of anything. Let me know what it is you think that I would answer, and I'll tell you if yes. Well, Phil, it is hard to figure that out, but I think if you look back at historical records and stuff like that, you can kind of figure out who was the first to do it. I think potentially you could, right? All right, I've got about another. I'm going to say about 10 minutes to go. And don't forget, tomorrow is Montreal in Boston. Should be, it's always a good game. Well, potentially always a good game against Boston. And you never know. Montreal beats Boston sometimes for no reason other than it's Montreal against Boston. And maybe that's going to be tomorrow. Bob, I agree with that. Should be changed. I don't know if that's something I might have thought of, but there's other things there's probably, you could say 3, 4, 5 things you'd have to pick if it's only one that you can change. But that's a good one to change. I think that's really dumb. I don't know that I like too many penalties. Games with too many penalties can get a little trying, and it's not really great for your team because then there's guys that just don't get out to play hardly at all. And I don't know. Not saying that they should limit the amount of penalties because that's wrong, but I can't say that I like games that are penalty filled. Oh, you know what I didn't do? So I'm writing a poem. It's going to be probably at least double what I got here. I'm going to just preview a little bit of my poem. I'm going to do it all. I'm just going to do one page. I've only got 1 page and a half, so I'm going to do 1 page. I don't have a title for it. It's kind of about how I fell in love with the game when I was young. All right? You guys all ready? Silence. I might not get some of the phrasing 100% right because obviously I'm not done and I haven't rehearsed it. Hockey to me is such a great game. It's the greatest sport of all. I started playing hockey when I was barely 3 feet tall. My very first memory of hockey was watching my brother play, jumping out on the ice with his teammates. It still gives me goosebumps to this day. He was my older brother. I looked up to him with awe. To see him skating on the ice, I fell in love with what I saw. Excuse me. I begged my parents to get me skates. I had to learn today. I had to get out on the ice and with my brother play. I had to get skates. I begged and cried and used words from the gutter. Then one day, I was overjoyed when my dad bought me a pair of cheese cutters. I love those skates, but the kids made fun. Still today, it kind of rankles. At least I wasn't one of them skating on my ankles. There you go. That's the first page. And I hope I think this one is like a 4-page poem. So we'll see. Where was I? Geez, there's a lot since I started reading. The Zebras will call the amount of penalties they want to. I like the clear day. I like the clear day pens. Well, clear as day. What do you mean by clear as day pens? Yeah, not a fan of the penalties or clear as day penalties. I'm not a fan of the penalties. That's why I love the playoffs when the refs keep the whistle in their pocket more. I think they should call what should be called. You trying to, is that the name you want? Pucky Love? That's good, actually. I hate that song. My sister used to play that all the time. And they called it Puppy Love. Oh, no, shoot myself in the head. Do you think Tampa has enough to beat the Leafs? One more playoff round, then tear down to get younger? It's the Leafs. So potentially yes, but I fear maybe no. I'll get it. I'm not done with the poem, so the name is not, it won't come to me till after. Daryl Adams, but I mean, like, why? Because if you get another goalie, you're not going to run with 3 goalies. If you get another goalie that's any good, then you got to waive one of them or trade. And if you waive, the one is going to get taken more than likely. So I don't agree. I think Monty's doing great. Allen's going to be steady like he always is, and I think they're fine. Next year is going to be another losing year. They're not going to be looking to be winning or making the playoffs. It's not in their thoughts, I don't think. Whoever faces the Leafs, have a bye. I don't know this year. I'm kind of worried about it. Come on, go off. We both know it's Pucky Love now. No, it's not. It's not. I usually actually like to use something from the inside in the poem, one of the lines and all that. So no, you can't sell me on that yet because it's not finished. It's when it's not finished, there can be no name till it's finished. We will serve no poem before its time. All right. Oh, we hit the hour. I'll stay another few minutes. Project Pucky Love? Okay, let's see. What's Lochi? Project Pucky Love. No, it's no. How I fell in love with the game, or one of those kind of. What was that movie? Peter Sellers and the nuclear bomb thing. There, you know how it had kind of two names. Could be something like that. I don't know. Not done yet. I mean, your names might percolate in my head. You never know, but off the top of my head, definitely not Pucky Love because I hated that song, and there's no way I'm naming a poem anywhere near that. Have a good one, Bob. Thanks for being here. Enjoy the Monty Python. Phil, that's it, or How I Learned to Love the Bomb. So something like that, I can see, but like I said, not till it's done or close to being done will I know the title, and the title is something that I feel it. Dr. Strangelove. Dr. Pucky Love. There you go. Dr. Pucky Love. Or How I Learned to Hate Gary Bettman. Or How I Learned to Hate the Leafs. Yeah. Or How I Learned to Love the Game is great. The Pucky Love part I don't like. Like I said, though, only when I'm done. All right. Speaking of done, I'm done for tonight. Don't forget to check the game out tomorrow. The Boston Bruins are hosting the Habs, and then it's a one-game road trip. They come back on Saturday to play Columbus, I believe. Yep. So potentially loss win. And if they beat the Bruins, they're probably going to roll over. No, they'll probably lose horribly to Columbus if they beat the Bruins. That's probably what will happen. All right, so I'll be there. I'll be here tomorrow for the game. Thanks, everybody, for being here. A lot of fun. Thanks for contributing. Thanks for talking. Thanks, Phil, Phil's my muse. Just there's no ways around that. Phil's my muse. He gives me a lot of ideas. I get a lot of inspiration from our little conversations for my poems. So thanks, Phil. Appreciate that. And everybody else who was here, thanks. See you tomorrow. Till then, stay safe out there. Peace out and enjoy the rest of the evening. Ciao, everybody. Have a great rest of the Wednesday night. Bye-bye.